Morning everyone, whether you're watching, listening or reading this episode, welcome back to the Runpreneur vlog, where we're on a mission to raise £1 million for children's charities by vlog running or run vlogging virtually around the world in consecutive days. So what that means is we run at least 5k every day, usually more at the weekends, and we need to cover in consecutive days the distance of 40,075 kilometres, which is the circumference of the world. And we're going to do this to raise as much money for children's charity as possible. Based on my 50 kilometre a week running average, it's going to take 15 years, so it's an epic challenge. So any support you can give me would be truly grateful for. Those of you my regular listeners or watchers know that I talk about things that are my passion, which are all things entrepreneurship and running. It is a fresh morning, but no wind, no rain and dry, so can't complain. It's about 4 degrees, and today it is Wednesday Wellbeing, where we discuss all things mindset, wellbeing, mental health. And today's topic is the importance of sleep on your mindset and well-being. So as always, if you like this episode, please give it a like, a comment and a subscribe, and let's get started. So sleep is something that is so important to us. I mean, people kind of take it for granted that we spend roughly a third of our lives in a state of sleep and in bed, and a lot of people think, oh, it's just a waste, wasting those hours. People think of it in that respect, but the amount of goodness and revitalization that's happening when you sleep is so important on so many facets of your life. It's so important, I can't stress enough. And I started taking this more seriously maybe the last couple of years, really, 2 or 3 years, and I understand more about my sleep needs. I understand what type of sleep gives me the best feeling, when I feel the most energized. And when you start understanding this stuff, it's an amazing tool in your kind of productivity and mindset kind of toolbox, in that it can really spearhead improvements in those areas, which is so important. And so many people kind of just disregard it as, just have to go to sleep now, and they don't understand enough of the science behind it and the impact it takes on you. So what I would say first is, number one, understand the importance. I mean, sleep will make you feel more energized, it will make you feel more positive, it will make you clarity of mind. It keeps your health. Health is so important. Your revitalization, so recovery from illness, recovery from injury, it's all rest related. So rest and recharge, recuperate, all these things are kind of bedded into sleep. It's a break for your brain and your mind. I mean, your mind is whirring at 100 miles an hour every single day, picking up cues and your environmental issues and environmental impacts and understanding everything that's going on in the world. Your mind's processing this ridiculous information overload. Without the right amount of sleep, it's not going to function well enough to do the same job every single day in consecutive days. With the only break it gets is when you sleep, or potentially meditate as well. So the importance of sleep and rest is absolutely paramount in so many different ways. And I'm no scientist. I'm sure there's sleep experts out there that would give you another 100 different benefits of sleep and why it's so important. So now you understand that, what are you going to do about it? Well, you get these people that will talk about the 5 a.m. club and all this type of stuff, and get up super early, we're gonna only need 2 hours sleep to function. And on the odd occasion that's okay, but for the long term that's just not sustainable in any way, shape or form, and it's going to take its toll on you in some capacity. And unfortunately you may not realise the toll it's taken on you until it's too late, i.e. you have breakdown of some kind. You're so tired, you've got nothing left to offer, and it often doesn't creep up on you. It just kind of hits you when you least expect it. So you do need an allocation of sleep that's suited to you. Now, the only way you can really do this, everybody says, oh, you need 8 hours sleep a night. I don't agree with that, and sleep scientists may override what I say here, but I'm just going from my personal experience. And I think that everybody's unique and individual, and you all need a different amount of sleep to function correctly. For example, the reason I say this is that I've tested, when I realised the importance of sleep and I was listening to different productivity books, this common theme was understanding more about your body and how you operate to get these kind of marginal productivity gains. And sleep was a big topic, and it was basically you don't need to have necessarily 8 hours sleep. Some people may need 9 hours sleep or even more. Some people may need 7, 6. Some people can maybe have to operate at full capacity on 5 hours sleep. But it depends on the person completely. So I did a test, and I basically monitored my energy levels throughout the day, and I did it for a period of time whilst trying to get a certain amount of sleep per night. So I tested 8 hours, 7 hours, 6 hours, and 5 hours worth of sleep. Okay, and then what I then did is, when I found the kind of sweet spot between two, I tested the half an hour interval as well. And what became abundantly clear is that I operate best with 6.5 to 7 hours sleep a night. Okay, that is my sweet spot zone. If I get that, every night I'm operating on full capacity, and my energy levels and my well-being, how I felt, and you have to kind of log all this stuff. So how much energy do you have? How much mental energy do you have? What's your mood like? And by logging this stuff over, you probably want to test each thing for at least a week. And what it will do is it will give you an understanding of the optimum amount of sleep that your body needs to operate. Now, okay, some people do have issues with getting sleep and all that side of things, but what you want to do is get a very basic sleep tracking device. Now, I use a Fitbit Inspire HR, which is on my right wrist here. So I have a Fitbit Inspire HR, but I only have that to kind of track my daily steps and sleep and that side of things, whereas everything else I run off my Apple Watch 6, which is on my left hand wrist. So I look a bit overly teched up, but I have my reasons for doing it. And the reason I like the Fitbit Inspire HR, I'm not affiliated with Fitbit in any way, shape or form, but it's wearable, it's relatively cheap, it's about 70 quid. You might be able to get it cheaper on second hand if that's the route you want to go down. But it's one of the cheapest wearable pieces of kit that you can actually sleep in. If you want a free option, there's an app called Sleep Cycle. I think you can download it on Android or iOS, and you just turn it on before you go to bed, and you sit with the microphone facing you, and it picks up your breathing pattern, and it's fairly accurate, to be fair. I was always a little bit hesitant about the accuracy because, it might pick up my wife next to me, or it might pick up, movements in different ways, where something wearable will be more in tune to you and your body. But for the nature of this process, I think it would work absolutely fine. So something to consider absolutely is using a sleep tracking app, and there's a couple that I've given you. There's hundreds of them if you hunt around, and just check the reviews. But generally speaking, Sleep Cycle was one of the first and one of the best reviewed. And in terms of wearable tech, the Fitbit Inspire HR was a really good low-cost option to kind of do this, and the reviews are really good. And it's also quite good if you're just getting into wearable tech for exercise as well. It does the job on that as well, but I'm an Apple Watch 6 man with all sorts of different integrations and stuff that I use for my own personal needs, but I digress. So once you've got that app, it will give you the metrics each night, and most important, it will tell you how much sleep you had, but it also gives you a sleep quality score, which I don't know the ins and outs of this, but it's basically factoring in the percentages of light, deep, and REM sleep that you're getting. Now, REM is when you're in like a dream state. Deep sleep is obviously when you're dead to the world, and light sleep is when you're in a light sleep. And basically throughout the night, you'll notice these ebbs and troughs of a sleep pattern, which is fine. But what you're trying to do is get enough sleep in each different zone, and the apps will tell you this. So I'm not going to try and teach you this because I don't know enough about it, but it will tell you where you should be against where you are, and that's important as well, because not only you'll find the direct correlation between your sleep score and how you feel as well. So you should be doing it on time, in a state of sleep, but also check the sleep score as well, because that kind of reinforces that you are getting a good amount of sleep. Because some people might think, oh, I'm operating great on 5 hours, but your sleep score might be so low that it's just, it's masking something that's going to hit you further down the line, where you will start breaking down because you're not getting enough rest and recuperation. So understand that, really, really important. So amount of time in bed, asleep, and your sleep score is really important. I'm not sure whether you get your sleep score on Sleep Cycle on the free version. You might have to pay for it, but if you don't worry, just work on your amount of sleep you get per night as a first measurement. You can always invest in this later if this stuff works and you want to kind of dive a bit deeper. But that will give you an understanding, and then you can then start understanding how much sleep you really need, and whether you're getting enough sleep in the different areas for you to be fully rested, fully recovered, mentally and physically, to have a productive day the following day. Because we all know when we've had a bad night's sleep, because our body just tells you. You wake up in the morning, you feel super groggy, start really struggle to get going. The other caveat is that even if you get bad night's sleep, you can override things on a short-term kind of fixed perspective. If you're really struggling in the morning, get out, do a bit of exercise or run. It'll kickstart you into a productive state. So I use this every morning because I'm notoriously bad in the mornings, even when I get a good night's sleep. But I can power on in the evenings if I choose to, which I don't, by the way, but I have that in the back pocket should I need to. So really important to kind of understand that, and understand the I'm just going back into the wind now. So I said it wasn't windy. It's obviously a lot windier going back this way. But anyway, so just to recap, the steps you kind of follow is, number one, understand the importance of sleep and the huge number of benefits that it gives you by getting a full night of sleep. Number two, it's not 8 hours a night that everybody needs. It varies. Okay, so understand that it's unique to you. So number three, you want to track your sleep in using an app or wearable tech, and you want to test different amounts of sleep you get per night. So whether it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hours, you might do all of those over at least a week each to give you a good bearing. And every day you're going to track the mood, your energy levels, your productivity, these types of things, just to establish how it's making you feel. Okay, you'll find probably the two best that will kind of give you your optimum performance. So it might be between 7 and 8. Possibly check the half an hour slot as well if you can, if you're good enough at timing what time you go to bed in order to get that amount of sleep. It's a little bit of an art, but you'll get used to it. And then ideally find a sweet spot of a half an hour zone, where if you hit that zone on a nightly basis, you're going to be working at an optimum level. The other thing to consider is there's a free app called Sleep Cycle that's pretty cool, or you can get some cheap wearable tech like a Fitbit Inspire HR will do the trick. It costs about 70 quid, but it's so worth it in terms of, you think you get some marginal gains in productivity and mindset. Is it worth a one-off cost of 70 quid? Absolutely, because compounded over the course of time, the return will be almost infinite. So bear that in mind, and also check your sleep score as well. That's the final one. If the app will give you a sleep score, check that, because that's taken into account the amount of time you're spending in either light, deep, or REM sleep zones, which you need an allocation to recuperate in different ways in each zone. So your sleep score will tell you how much you're getting in each zone in relation to what your body needs, which is super cool as well. So I hope this has been useful. As always, if you've got any questions on this stuff, drop me a comment. I'll respond to everyone. If it's a bigger topic, I'll do a separate vlog and I'll tag you in. All I have to say is check out my bios, because I'm just about to launch the blog and the podcast which accompanies the vlog. So whether you want to watch, listen or read my content, you have access to all platforms. I also sort the content by topic as well, so you should be able to find relevant information to you very easily. So all I have to say is that the Runpreneur vlog was set up to raise £1 million for children's charity by taking on an epic challenge of run vlogging in consecutive days the distance of around the world, which is 40,075 kilometres. I have to do at least 5k a day, and I normally do more at the weekends, and I aim to achieve 50 kilometres per week as an average, which means the whole journey is going to take me 15 years to accomplish. So truly epic, but plenty of time to get enough traction and promotion on this challenge to raise £1 million for children's charities, which is something I'm truly passionate about. My content is all about helping entrepreneurs, well, helping people in general, on how to overcome the emotions of stress, overwhelm and anxiety in their lives by using exercise, or in my case running, as a release valve. So you can kind of process those pressures, those daily, weekly pressures in the form of stress, clear your head, analyse, gain clarity, focus and move on to continue on your path to whatever success means to you. And if you don't have a release valve, it's like pressure that builds up in a pipe. And unfortunately, if you don't deal with the daily or weekly stresses, then they evolve to overwhelm. You've got too much stuff going on in your head. And when you get overwhelmed, you like freeze and you struggle to get things done. You start to procrastinate. Overwhelm evolves into panic or anxiety, and you start to panic, and then you're into the realms of mental health challenges, which clearly we want to avoid. Now, I've been there. I've lost multiple businesses because of these reasons. I've lost multiple business partners, and I've almost been bankrupt. And believe you me, I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy, because it's a tremendously dark place, and it's really, really difficult to come back from it. It's taken me years to kind of get back to kind of even where I am now, and I'm still on the road to recovery. And so my pledge to you, if you are somebody who's feeling these pressures, struggling to deal with them, drop me a message, okay? There's no catch here. We'll just jump on a call. I'll give you some hints and tips of things that I've used in my life that I know are very transferable to yours. And to give you evidence, since I've been doing this running vlog, I've made more progress in the last 9 months than I have in the previous 4 years. So hopefully that's enough social proof that this stuff really works. And also to understand that help is there. You don't always have to pay for it. You just have to be prepared to ask. So I think that's really important to understand. And many have taken me up on this already, and I know we've made a massive positive difference in so many people's lives. As I always said, if this business saves one person or one business, it's been 1,000,000% worthwhile. So all I have to say, if you like this episode, give it a like, comment and a subscribe on whichever platform you're watching it on. Please check out the playlist on each platform where you can tune into very, very relevant content to you. It's all catalogued nice and neatly. And all I have to say is stay positive, stay happy, and I'll see you tomorrow.